Hi, family. Today, I hope that we will be kind, forgiving, compassionate to ourselves, to our families, and the people around us. I also hope that we will grow spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, relationally, financially, and recreationally. Now, the message. Hi, guys. How are we feeling? Today, I'm going to be talking about self-discipline goes a long way. When you have established your priorities, we have been talking about returning to our first love, um, what we used to do in the Lord. So it's God first, then us, then our family, because we have to know who we are to show up as our best self. We have to know who we are first. Self-abandonment is a real issue. And it's why a lot of the accidents, even deaths, people lose their lives because they have abandoned themselves. When you have established your priorities, decisions get easier. But there are days when you just want to sleep in or when you want to quit for whatever reason. And this is talking to me. Self-discipline is a vehicle that will get you there, doing the task during these times. Every day, do something toward a dream, not because you feel like doing it, and not because you think you should do it, but because you need to do it. If you want that dream, you gotta put the work in. We call on grace, yes, but we still need to put the work in. This is where passion is needed because if you do not have the passion, self-discipline is going to be difficult. Depending on your season in life, you may need to get up earlier to get things done before the kids wake up. For example, when the kids are off on holiday, um, to get things done. Where are we? Or you may need to stay late at work. Whatever the situation is, do what you need to do, but get it done. I would say to get 8 hours of sleep while you're at it, but I know that sometimes even this may not be possible. God has given you the grace to do what you need to do. So that's where the grace is, to do what you need to do. All right. He also gives you the time to do what you need to do. Self-discipline helps you get to your dream through the compound effect. When you do one thing consistently, this one thing will compound and have a massive effect on your life. This is true for all areas and also positive and negative. Remember, everything begins in your thoughts. So think about what you're thinking about. Talk about sowing and reaping. That we sow in one season and we reap in the other season. We do not sow and reap in the same season. And this is where a lot of us get it wrong. We start out good. We're reading our Bible, we're doing all the good things, and then things happen. We have some big issue, and then we fall off. And so now in the other season, we reap some of what we did in the last season, right? But then it falls off and we go back into issues again because guess what? We did not continue. with the habits, the good habits that we developed. Something came, some problem happened, and we just fall off, right? Or we go on holidays and we come back and we stop the things we used to do, or you know what I mean? Life happens, but we got to be consistent. Doing one thing towards a dream every day will get you there. But the opposite is also true. If we think, just think negatively or consistently work against our dreams, then it will not, or it will be more difficult to manifest. So I'm talking to me right now because and I'm usually a very disciplined person, but it's not just what we see, it's also behind the scenes. I talk about personal development. Personal development is so important. Yes, we show up and we do the work and we get that done. However, are we showing up whole? Mm, because it's what we do personally behind the scenes. Am I reading the stuff that I should be reading? Am I taking care of my mind, taking care of my body, you see what I'm saying? Taking care of my soul. What are the things that we do to nourish our souls? What do we love? We have to do the things that we love because that's what's going to nourish our soul. And what I love may not be what you love. What do you love? I posed a question this morning about, do we observe and respond to the needs and desires of our kids, or do we put our desires and tradition on them? What do they love? And do we give them the tools to do what they love to do? Right? The school system is this traditional system. Um, most of it leads to writing and, being quiet in class. But what if your child is a talkative child? Hello? What if their gift is to talk? Communication. Not everybody begins with writing. Some begins with talking. And can you see how this child might look like disruptive in class? Because they're talking, 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 but that's their gift. But do we have an outlet for these children? You're going to tell them to write, but they want to talk. Why we can't have both? It's really the same thing, but it's just a different form of communication. I like writing. So when I started on this journey, it began with writing, but then God moved me into speaking. I was a little bit more timid with the speaking. Okay, but some people begin speak with the speaking and then they move into the writing. But a communicator is a writer and a speaker. Every writer is a speaker, every speaker is a writer. Have we grown into that yet? You know, I will tell my son, we need to read this book and write a summary. And it will take him forever, right? But tell me about that book. He is gonna tell you about that book. You see what I'm saying? Because his gift, yes, communication, but he talks. He's a talker first. Do we include this in our school system? No. But we're talking about self-discipline here. Lean into routines or habits that help you fulfill your dream. We are human beings, we have feelings, and our feelings do not always align with what we know we should do. Good routines and habits allow us to get things done without thinking and feeling. We just do it. Thanks, Nike. When you start your day with a good routine, it primes you to do the things you plan to do on that day. Waking up at the same time every morning will set an internal alarm in your body. It will wake you up even without an external alarm. And most of us have this because we have a 9 to 5 job. I mean, that's a 9 to 5. It could be 8 to 4, 8 to 3. I mean, a set time. Waking up at this, when you consistently get through several tasks in the morning, you have tricked your brain that you have already mastered your morning and you will have an optimistic view for the rest of the day. However, you will need to choose activities that serve you, right? And your objectives for the day. So be mindful of what you choose to do. After setting my priorities straight, I established a morning routine. It looks like this. I would say a short prayer as I woke up, then read the Bible and meditate for a few minutes. Next was yoga, not the religious act though, but just stretching. Remember, I said I used to do yoga, prepared and ate breakfast while listening to an inspirational podcast. Do you hear that? So I have become this person. So now, in terms of what I listen to, so what I used to listen to, now I am doing. I told you about the things that we love is a reflection of who we are. Mhm. All right. So if you love to listen to podcasts, that is you. Believe, believe that is you. And the more you listen, the more you learn, then you're going to start talking. And the next thing you know, you'll have your podcast. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Do not compare yourself. You just got to begin and then you grow. All right. Then I start my day. This routine worked for me for that period. That's the other thing. We have to know what works for us in whatever period. Now that I have children, then I have to change that. But whatever works for you, do you. We like to talk about do you, boo. This is the part that we can do you. The routine. We have to make it work for us. My routine may not work for you. You have to know what works for you. All right? Don't follow what others are doing. One person might go to the gym in their routines, another might like running, yet others may like yoga. Like I said, what works for you? There is no right or wrong way. Just find what suits you. Another way to have self-discipline is to believe and start acting as if you already have what you are working towards. You start acting as if you already got it. If you already got something, you're going to do it. If in your mind you're thinking, you see, what a man believes in his heart, so is he. Do you believe? No, that can also work in the wrong way because some of us believe way above who we are and we're not doing the work to get there. No, that is delusional. If, and then some of us are doing the work, but we are below what we're supposed to be at that time. So that is why we have to make sure our mind is right, and that's why some of us should go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. We just need another perspective, not all the time. If we live in a certain culture all our lives, we're going to do things like we see it all the time. Sometimes we need just another idea from somewhere else to say, oh, there's another way to look at this. Challenge your mindset. There, we could be doing it all wrong. Not because it's comfortable, mean it's right. Not because it looks like it's working, mean it's right. Like I said, we're sowing one season and we're reaping another thing. Maybe we're reaping good things this season because we did the right thing the last season. And again, what are the seasons, What are the seasons? For some, it's 10 years. For some, it's 5 years, 1 year, a month, 3 months, a week, depending, because God can work very fast. If you're filled with the Holy Spirit, God can work fast. Overnight. A season is 1 day. But some of us are not there yet, and so it takes longer. All right? So we're going to stop there for today. That is self-discipline. We need it to get to the dream. All right? Have a great day.